Hi, it's Don Southerton, and this week's episode of Everything Korea Office Chat. Uh, so, grab your coffee, pull up a chair. Let's go ahead and get started. Oh, incidentally, I've been having a number of folks, reach out to me saying that they do grab their coffee and pull up a chair and watch the episodes. So I appreciate your feedback and your comments. And if I haven't got back to you already, I will be. Sometimes it takes me a couple days to get through the batches. So, with that, we all enjoy our work that is when it's recognized and cited. This week, in the Korea Times, which was one of the major three or four Korean newspapers, scholar and professor Bernard Rowan cited my article, Smart Work and COVID 19 Transforming the Workplace in South Korea. Now, in late 2020 and amid the pandemic, I asked the question if whether remote and smart work might become permanent alternatives in Korea, where management likes to see their teams in the office, at their desks, and heads down. Now, many thanks, Bernard, for the article and including me in there. You know, your recent opinion piece is well researched and based on a number of new surveys, and it shows that remote work has gained considerable inroads and, as you note, has had an impact on the work life balance. And this is well beyond just South Korea and the US. So, in the opinion piece, and I'm going to sort of paraphrase through it today, I will include the link so you can go in and read it. So it's very informative, and I think it was extremely well done. So, the title is Progress and Remote Work by Bernard Rowan, May 18th, 2021, Korea Times. COVID-19 as a global pandemic continues. India is in its death grip. Many other nations like Brazil have serious challenges. Other countries say the end of the tunnel is in sight for the post-war or post-COVID world. I too think it's too soon to relax, but among my colleagues and friends, everyone is working hard to stay optimistic. He further goes on and says vaccination and public health routines must continue and everyone should remain cautious and vigilant. However, I don't hear enough talk about how the pandemic has created a new context for work. He then says, remote work is something is something I'll miss, and is something I hope Korea, among other countries, should work to capitalize on in many contexts. I've read that Korean companies are experimenting with remote work, and some have created the ideas of working one day from home or remotely. Hybrid work routines may appear more than a norm than just the idea for the moms or for those with health conditions and with vulnerabilities. There's a number of things, medical services, the production of automobiles, and many services and other standards don't suit themselves well for remote. Many economies around the world will continue to use on site employees and management in some form. However, many other forms of work aren't dependent on a particular place or space, let alone management done by the eye. In 2020, Don Southerton wrote in the magazine Branding in Asia about South Korea's national use of smart work and asked whether it would become a permanent alternative. A recent FlexJob survey signaled that 2 or 3 workers have said that they would like to choose a remote work choice. Uh, uh, Another site another author has recently wrote in Forbes magazine that the pandemic has hastened remote transactions, automation, and the use of remote work, including virtual conferencing. Now, it's quite a long article, and I hope that you go in and read it in entirety, but I will jump ahead a little bit where he does mention that in 2020, Bloomberg Businessweek article suggested that South Korea wants to develop leading technologies to make possible more remote work. President Moon's Untact initiative shouldn't end with his tenure, so the Korean presidency will end up in March of next year. So they're basically saying, hey, we hope that some of this idea of Untact not necessarily being in the office does continue well on past his administration. Creating a world of remote work requires partnerships between regional, local governments, as well as leading companies. A characteristic of advanced society is that they learn from harsh experiences and apply those lessons to improve the people in the world. Reactionary societies institutions cling to the past out of stubborn and counterproductivity, even deadly refusal to adapt and grow. So he does says progressive societies respect the need to adapt and change to new economies of scale in diverse ways. This progress has characterized some of the labor and development histories of South Korea and the United States. I hope our countries and nations through the world will see the value in remote work and in hybrid remote on-site work models, wherever they can do them. The value shouldn't remain just in our present alone, but also extend to the future. So I think it was really well done. Again, when I had written the article in, I think it was September, October of 2020, it was still there, and I wasn't sure if it was going to percolate down through. There were some mixed results coming back that even some people who were working remote were feeling, well, I'm always working, because at least at the office I was there from 8 and I left at 5, and they didn't track me down, and now that I'm working remote, they can get a hold of me. Some management thinks they can get a hold of me 24/7. So, with that, please, if you get a chance to read the article. If not, I've paraphrased it in great detail. So I'm always open to your questions and concerns and any opportunities. So please feel free to reach out. As always, this is Don Southerton wishing you all the best.